grade families, here we are. This is our first grade team here at Highcliffe Elementary. I'm Mrs. Harbaugh, and today we're going to start off with a little activity that we love to do in first grade, where we use a slate and a dry erase marker to show what we know. So we thought we would tell you a little bit about ourselves using our slates and answering some questions for you. All right, team, are you ready for the first task? We'll start you off easy. Write your name on your slate. Excellent job. All right, good warm up, everyone. All right, here we go. I'm ready to give you the first question. I would like you on your slates to write one thing that you are looking forward to. Ready? Go. All right, here we are. I'll go first. I am looking forward to meeting our new first graders, whether it's on the computer or in person. Can't wait to see your faces. Miss Payne, tell us what you're looking forward to.
I am so excited to get married this summer. I drew a sun because it will be in July. It'll be nice and hot, and I can't wait. Miss Pasenka, how about you?
I am excited for an amazing year, and also it sounds like I have a lot of weddings to attend, so I'm looking forward to that. Mrs. Metz, you're up.
I'm looking forward to fall because I like sweater weather.
Hey, Mrs. Metz, I love fall too because I'm getting married in the fall, but not this October, next October. So first grade team will be busy.
Awesome. Good job, everyone. All right, who's next? Miss Payne, you want to ask us a question next?
All right, my turn for a question. I would like you to write how many pets you have in your home. Ready, go. All right, I will start first. I have one dog. I have a 3-year-old Cocker Spaniel, and he's black and white, and he's so cute. All right, Miss Pasenka, you're up.
I have one cat named Griffin. Mrs. Metz, you're up.
I have one dog. He's a pug named Gordon. Ms. Shevchik.
Unfortunately, I don't have any pets, but I would love to own a Bernese Mountain Dog one day. How about you, Mrs. Harbaugh?
I've got a very large dog named Louie, and we just recently got 6 new fish. All right, who's asking next?
I'll go. My turn. Okay, ladies, where did everybody go to high school? Okay, I'll go first. I went to Hampton High School. Go Talbots. How about you, Mrs. Metz?
I went to North Hills.
Woo woo!
Miss Shevchik, talk to me.
I went to North Allegheny. Sorry, guys. Go Tigers!
And Mrs. Harbaugh.
I also went to North Allegheny, but about 2 decades after before Miss Shevchik went to North Allegheny.
And how about Miss Payne?
I also wrote Go Tigers, but not from NA, from Moon.
Awesome. Okay, Mrs. Metz, take it away.
Okay. All right, first grade friends, I want you to write down how many years you've been teaching. So for me, it's the start of my 21st year. First year I taught 3rd grade, all the rest have been first. Ms. Shevchik.
Hey, this year is my lucky number 7. I started here in first grade, and I consider myself lucky because I made my way back. I taught 3rd grade, and this is also my 4th year in first grade. So I can't wait to spend it with all of you.
Awesome. This is my the start of my 25th year of teaching. And I got to tell you, first grade is my favorite. How about you, Miss Payne?
This is my 5th year of teaching, but it's my first year teaching first grade, and I'm the new first grade teacher here, so I'm really excited to join everyone. My other 4 years, I taught kindergarten. And Ms. Pasenka.
I am starting year number 14, and I am so excited. It's going to be an amazing one.
All right, first graders, we can't wait to meet you. We'll bring it back to Mrs. Harbaugh to wrap up our game and see what's next.
All right, so you've learned a little bit about us. Now it's time to get down to business. We're going to tell you everything that's going to be happening. Well, as much as we know is going to be happening in first grade this year. So stay tuned for our presentation.
Hello, first grade families, and welcome to our first ever and hopefully only virtual curriculum night. We are so excited to be your child's teacher this year, and we have an informative presentation that includes all of the things that you need to know leading into first grade. Take a look at our Bitmojis, as this year with our virtual platform, we have a Bitmoji to represent each teacher. Disclaimer, the Bitmojis are not drawn to scale. Even though we are experiencing a pandemic, and this is a very challenging time for not only children, but families alike, we want you to know that when you see us with our masks on the first day of school, that we cannot mask our excitement to be your teacher. It is a heartfelt welcome that we are able to learn and to grow together this year, and we will make sure that that happens no matter what. Now, let's take a peek at what your teachers looked like when they were in first grade. Here I am, Miss Shevchik. Up next, Mrs. Pasenka, Mrs. Metz, Mrs. Harbaugh, and we're honored to welcome Miss Payne into our first grade team this year. Now it's time to get into the nitty-gritty of what you need to know about first grade.
All righty, so let's talk about where we start. We're gonna first turn on your iPad. There's a button in the very top right-hand corner. You gotta hold it down until you see the Apple icon pop up. And then you're going to be prompted to enter your passcode. There's a 6-digit passcode that's required. We use our student lunch pins, our lunch pin code as our password. The lunch codes are 5 digits. So we add a 0 onto the end to take up those 6 spaces needed for the passcode. So you'll use your student's lunch pin code and a 0. The lunch pin is on the brown box of that the iPad will come in. So it's written right there for you. Add a 0 onto it, and that's your iPad password. All right, here we go. Next, once you get into your iPad, the most important app that you're going to get into is ClassLink. ClassLink is a hub where all the apps that we're going to be using, most of the apps that we're going to be using are in ClassLink, and it's just an easier way, keeps you logged in so that you don't have to log in every single time. So you have to log into ClassLink. Here's how you do that. You're going to use the last name of your student, the first initial, and then the graduating year. Our first graders this year are slated to graduate in 2032. Yikes, that seems so far away. So you're gonna do last name, first initial, 32. The password is always NHSD, and then the lunch code. And that'll get you right into ClassLink, where you can access the apps like Google Classroom and BrainPop and RazKids and iReady, among a lot of other apps that you'll see in there as well. Alrighty, that's it for me.
Okay, now on to Google Classroom. So just like what Ms. Harbaugh just said, to log into our Google Classroom, that's the place where you'll stay connected with our virtual classroom and assignments and everything that's happening. To log in there, you will again use your last name, first initial, and the child's graduating year, which is 32, and then NHSD, and the lunch pin is the password. Then once you are logged into Google Classroom, you will want to join your child's class. So we each have our own Google Classroom. So to join a class, you can see the instructions here. You'll just find that little plus in the bottom left-hand corner and click that. And then on the next slide, you'll see you will just enter your child's teacher's class code. So all of them are listed there. It is likely that you're already logged in and connected to our Google Classroom, but if you need to reference that, it'll always be in this slide. And then on the next slide, you will see kind of the same thing, but this is just for the special area class codes. So there is one for PE, art, music, and computer. You will just find your child's teacher and whichever special class you're looking for and connect with that class code if you have not already done that.
Alrighty, up next is a day in the life of a first grader. So our class schedule looks a little bit different this year due to our virtual platform. You can take a look here at our scheduled times. It's broken down into starting our morning off right at 8:30 for morning meeting. This will be a live component where your child will have a reoccurring Zoom link so they can count on seeing our faces and their peers at 8:30 every morning, Monday through Friday. Immediately following morning meeting is our new lead time. For those of you familiar with the district, very similar to tribe time, where students will be able to visit with their Title I teachers, math specialists, OT, speech therapy, meet with a counselor, things like that. If your child does not have anything required during that time, we will have a lead classroom within our Bitmoji classroom that you'll see in a bit, where they'll have plenty of activities to stay busy. We also know that this can be a stressful time, so feel free to use this time to rest and refresh because we have a long day ahead. After lead, we'll jet into ELA and math following that. Both of ELA and math do have live components, so we will be doing live instruction during both of those times. Again, we'll have a reoccurring Zoom meeting that your child will click on in order to see their teacher and their peers' faces. We look forward to that live instruction and having a lot of that social interaction that we do, that we can mimic in the classroom. After that, it's time to get hungry because we have lunch. Use that time to, get a good healthy lunch in, get some fresh air if you can, rest and refresh as we lead into office hours. This is something new for teachers and students alike. These office hours will be held by appointment only through a Google form where a parent can sign up to meet with a teacher if they're having a question or a struggling student, or maybe they just, kind of need to check in about a few things. Please create an appointment through Google Form that we will see on our end, and then we can be in contact with you. We'll use office hours to contact you by phone. So we have a spot for you to provide the best contact number, and we'll contact you during those times. Please note that if you schedule office hours during that day, we probably won't have a chance to meet with you until the following day. So if you could create that form 24 hours in advance, that'd be most appreciated. If anything is urgent or immediate, please call the office right away so they can get a hold of us. After that, the kiddos, probably one of the favorite parts of the day is special. They'll have instructions to join their Google Classrooms, like Ms. Payne said, and they'll get to attend all of their specials within the 6-day cycle. After that, science and social studies. Something to note here is that live instruction is not going to be every single day. It's kind of when we feel it's best for the kiddos to learn, and then we'll have a lot of project-based learning during that time. Give us a few weeks to kind of get our feet wet with science and social studies, as we really want to nail down our ELA and math before adding another component. Lastly, we'll have our closing, which we'll talk about a little bit more in depth later in the slides, but this closing is just kind of a reflection and a wrap up of the day. We know that 2:15s, it's been a long day, so feel free that if you want to log on, kiddos can see all of their first grade friends, because we will have one link for the entire first grade. So that'll be a great way for kiddos to see their peers that they've known in kindergarten, and a great reflection of the day. Up next is something that is pretty involved, so I bear that, please stay with us as we explore this new Bitmoji classroom. We know that Google Classroom is really not as user-friendly for those younger kiddos, so we thought that we could make learning fun and interactive by creating a Bitmoji classroom. Here's how you reference that. Each morning, your student will go to Class Link and access their teacher's Google Classroom, with Mrs. Harbaugh explained to us. Within that Google Classroom, you'll see a topic and a heading for the week. Underneath that week will be a link where the kiddos just click, and it's kind of a one-stop shop for them to see all of the classrooms that we have for our learning. So this Bitmoji classroom, it has 5 different slides, which I'll give you a look into our Bitmoji world. So we'll take it from here. Within your child's Bitmoji classroom, you'll see your child's teacher in Bitmoji form. here is our morning meeting classroom. So some things that you'll want to know is that everything in this classroom is clickable. If for some reason you're clicking on the plant and it doesn't take you anywhere, that means that the plant is, just kind of a prop for our classroom. Anything else that you can click on will take you to a link, such as the telephone will take you to the Google form to set an office hour. Here's our class schedule. And the Watch Me Teach is going to be anything that you've missed. So maybe you couldn't make the live morning meeting, click that fun interactive Watch Me Teach and you'll be taken to a Google folder that will have all of our lessons throughout our virtual time. I won't go through everything within the Google slide, but we encourage your student, if they're with us on the first day, we'll walk through this. If not, play around, see what there is to explore within our Google Classroom. One thing to note that under today's morning meeting, that'll be a hyperlink that'll take you right to our reoccurring Zoom meeting. So it'll always be in one place, easy access for all of our kiddos. Next is our lead classroom as it follows our schedule. Here's a place to explore. We'll have music, we'll have writing, we'll have a library of books. Maybe you even need to take a moment to do some yoga. This is the perfect place to do that. After will be our ELA classroom where you'll see some fun read alouds that you can explore, some bow posters. And again, today's ELA lesson will be a hyperlink to our live Zoom meeting. Same format for our math classroom. Today's math lesson, that's where you'll find your reoccurring Zoom link for our live teaching. And then everything else in the room is interactive and things to support learning. Up next, science and social studies will be within one classroom because we do alternate that throughout the 6-day cycle. There will be a reoccurring Zoom link. Your teacher will communicate with you what days they will be going live and what days that you can count on having an activity. Last but not least is our closing slide. Driving on the school bus, you'll see that all of our first grade teachers' fun Bitemojis are in the school bus, and above that, you'll see the day of the week. Click on that day of the week and you'll be automatically connected to our Zoom meeting. Again, there will be one link for the entire first grade, so we thought it'd be fun for all the kiddos to see their friends' faces and to reflect on their wonderful school day. Alrighty, we will get out of here and return back to our presentation. I know that Bitemoji classroom is a lot and it's new to us, but we thought it'd be fun and kind of one place, one-stop shop for all of our learning during this virtual time. We'll hand it over to Mrs. Pasenko to talk about, well, what should our students expect while in this virtual classroom?
Thank you, Ms. Shevchik. I am going to talk about our expectations as we embark on our virtual classroom. We would ask that students sign into a meeting about 2 or 3 minutes before the meeting starts. And we also ask that they mute themselves until we give them permission to unmute themselves to participate in our lesson. We also ask that students leave the camera on so we can see their cute faces. Also, we just ask that they are respectful and find a spot where they have a quiet spot in your home without distractions like pets or toys or other siblings. And then up next, we are going to continue talking about our virtual classroom expectations. We just ask that, again, students stay on task, they don't eat or drink during our presentations, and that they are dressed appropriately. Next, we're going to talk about swag bags.
Yeah, the swag bags. So your children should have brought home a bag with workbooks, an iPad charger, all kinds of other things to support you and them as they learn from home. We will expect those to be returned to school if and when we come back to some sort of hybrid in-person situation. So please be careful with all of these tools. I have children, I get it, but if you can, keep them away from the devices and things, away from food, pets, and younger siblings that often like to scribble on things. iPads, let's get them in the habit of plugging them in nightly so that they're prepared for the morning with a fully charged device. And all the lessons, activities, the links will all be posted and accessed through the Bitmoji classroom. So our lessons will be a combination of things. Some will be live, some will be recorded, and some will be independent. We also want you all to understand that we understand what this is like for you. Some of us have children, and our children are going to be doing the same things your kids are doing. So we know that sometimes you probably won't be able to join a live lesson. Those will be recorded and available in the Bitmoji classroom. So live interactions, multiple times a day. And again, you can access them after the fact if something happens with your family that you can't join. Sorry. So yeah, I pretty much covered all that, didn't I, Maria?
I think you did a great job, Mrs. Bet. So we'll keep on rolling.
Yeah,
thumbs up.
keep it going.
Hey, we'll take it over, Mrs. Harbaugh, with some important additional information. Hopefully, Mrs. Harbaugh is still with us.
There we go. I forgot to unmute myself.
Oh, that's going to happen plenty of times. Microphone on reminder, Mrs. Harbaugh.
I did that to show everyone that it happens to everybody.
Yes.
All right, so here we go. Every day, you're going to be required to sign your kiddo in for attendance for that day. You will be able to find the attendance Google form in our Bitmoji classroom that Ms. Shevchik just went through with all of us. You need to sign in your kiddo between 12:01 a.m. and 11:59 p.m. You have the entire almost 24 hours to get your kiddo signed in for that day. Even if they're not completing their work at that time, they need to be signed in for that particular day or they'll be marked absent. All right, so LEAD. Ms. Shevchik touched on that when she was going through our Bitmoji classroom. LEAD stands for Learning, Enrichment, and Academic Differentiation. So we built this period into our school day because different students need different support throughout the day. Some kiddos go to Title I. Some kiddos need math support. Some kiddos have speech support. Their counseling hours would be included in this time. So if your kiddo gets any of these supports, this will be the time that they will work on those things. If your child does not do any of these special support classes or meet with a support person during this time, we have our Bitmoji classroom loaded up with kind of fun, interactive things that they can do, books they can access, yoga, relaxation that they can do for a little bit. It's kind of fun to poke around in that LEAD Bitmoji classroom on that LEAD page because there's all kinds of fun things that are snuck in there for you to take a look at. So last of all, you can always use that time to rest and refresh. We know it's a busy day and it's nonstop, and it might just be nice to have a little bit of downtime, go outside and get a breath of fresh air for a few minutes.
Okay, now we will be talking about the office hours. I know that was referenced a little bit earlier, but every day our office hours are from 12:15 to 12:45. If you would need to talk to us about something, please just make that appointment through the Bitmoji classroom. You just click to schedule an appointment and we will get that form and hopefully get one ready for you the next day. If anything comes up that's an emergency or super pressing, just call the office so that we know about it immediately. Also, the closing, just to recap what we talked about earlier, we do understand that this is a crazy time for everyone. It's exhausting, it's new, it's not normal. So if by the end of the day your child is worn out, we get it. But if your child still has, something in them, they want to get on and see the whole first grade crew, that would be wonderful. So we are splitting it up kind of like you saw on the school bus. Each one of the first grade teachers, each 5 days of the week, we will take a day and we will be the ones to kind of host and lead that closing time. So if your child does hop on that meeting, that would be great. We will be there to answer any questions, maybe talk about our favorite part of the day, and just see how they're doing. And you will see each of our faces in a different day during the week. Okay, now moving on to English Language Arts. So we use Wonders as our curriculum for literacy and reading. It covers phonics, spelling, grammar, read alouds, comprehension skills, which we will talk about that schedule in a second. For phonics skills, And foundational reading skills, we will be using RGR, Really Great Reading. And then lastly, for independent reading, the kiddos will use RazKids, and I think you can find that through the class link. And also, of course, always picking those books that they can read so that that love of learning and love for reading stays strong. Okay, so for the ELA schedule, we go through a 6-day cycle. So you can see here each day we kind of have a different focus. I won't read those all to you, but you'll notice days 1 through 5, we focus on a different part of literacy and reading. And then on day 6, that is when the children will be assessed. And you can see at the bottom, I'm sure we'll get more into this later in the school year, but the letter grades are given for reading, spelling, and grammar. And a standards-based grade is given for writing and handwriting.
All right, moving on to math. Our Math in Focus series has been around for a few years. It's a wonderful series that is built with a lot of hands-on learning and differentiation. We're excited to teach these different concepts through the hands-on learning instead of just going through the procedures. Students are not only understanding what they're doing, but they're able to explain why they're doing something. Please note that as we go through the chapters, it's in a series that makes sense for the students learning, and they may not be presented in order. So if we skip around a bit, bear with us, and of course that'll be communicated. A wonderful part of our iReady lessons, which students will take an assessment. They have, this assessment is geared towards their individual learning style, and those lessons that we will have them do through iReady will help them practice those skills that they need to refresh and also challenge them to learn new skills. Note with math that our grading information, our assessments take place at the end of the chapter when we feel that the students are ready for mastery, and they will receive a letter grade for math. For our science, we have our FOSS system, which is full option science system. It's hands-on, minds-on learning. We go through a few different themes: sound and light, solids and liquid, insects, which is always a buzz around first grade as we take on the mealworms. We have a new theme this year, which is improving the Play-Doh process. And as always, we have to thank Mrs. Pasenka for bringing Hatcha Chicken to first grade. I think that's what made us the most famous around the school. So with science, we have not received our science kits just yet. So we will definitely be kind of working with you as we see fit to how best to instruct our students within the science without having all of those materials in hand. We promise it'll still be hands-on and engaging. Please note that a lot of science is project-based, and how we see students, manipulate these different investigations and observations. They will receive a standard-based grade. With social studies, we're excited to present a new curriculum called TCI, which teaches students the basics of geography and economics and citizenship. I think it's fully appropriate that first graders will be learning and exploring school and family. We also love celebrating holidays and special events. If your family has a holiday or a special event that you celebrate that you would like to bring to our first grade family, we totally support that and would love to create activities around that. So make sure to reach out to us. Again, just like science, project-based assessments and grades are standard-based. Next to Mrs. Pasenka for the iReady diagnostic testing that is supported with lessons in both math and reading.
That will not be the only time that that happens this year. So thank you, everybody. I'm going to talk a little bit about iReady. iReady is a computer-based reading and math assessment that we use to get an idea of where our kiddos are. We ask that you, actually, Ms. Shevchik, can you take us to our next slide?
I sure can.
Thank you, ma'am. We do ask that you let your child take this assessment independently. Otherwise, the scores will be skewed, and then we won't have a great idea of where they are. I realize that can be difficult, especially if you see your child struggling, but we just ask that you encourage them, tell them to do their best, and it's okay if they don't know all the answers. This data helps us to create personalized lessons for your students. So like I said, it's really imperative that you let them take it independently. And finally, we will be taking these assessments on the week of September 14th, and this will be in the lieu of our morning and afternoon lessons. We will certainly have more information to come about that. And also, we have not quite determined the assessment dates in January and May. So we will be taking these assessments at the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, and the end of the year. And again, it's just so we know where our kiddos are and what we need to do to best support them.
Okay, so I think the major change to the report card is that we moved from 2 grading periods to 4. So those dates with the marking periods, the end of the marking periods, are listed there for you. And grading varies between percentages, letter grades, and so on and so forth. I think that overall, we just ask that you bear with us as we start to learn and figure out how to assess your child virtually. So we're going to do the best we can to get to know them, and assess them and see what they know and what they need to improve upon. Parent-teacher conferences are November 2nd and 3rd, and then on February 15th. So, and all of my people, correct me if I'm wrong, we know that the options for school are hybrid, blended, traditional in the future. But I think our focus right now is let's make this virtual thing work whenever we get the next, till at least October 5th. Once we find out anything else, then we'll cross those bridges as we come to it. But right now, let's focus on making this the best we can for the kids. Okay, so we still want to celebrate kids' birthdays because they get so excited and it's a special day for them. So all the kids' birthdays are listed in the Bitmoji classroom. We'll have a morning wrap, and then what we came up with was for each birthday kid, if they wanted to have a guest Zoom reader, a Zoom dance party, or share a show and tell with their class. So again, we'll make those choices with your child as their birthday approaches.
Okay, that's to me. I get to talk about Class Dojo. I know that some of you may have used Class Dojo last year in kindergarten, and some of you may not have used it. It's a really easy system where we can message one another and we can share pictures on Class Dojo, and it can also track behaviors with an easy green or red points on their dojos. The dojos are these cute little icons that the kiddos get to design themselves. And when we see positive behavior, things that we're working on within our virtual classrooms, we can give a green dojo to a student. And it's kind of cool because it has a neat sound to it, and it blings onto the screen and they get real excited about it. You can also choose the settings so that you can be alerted when there's green dojos given. And if we ever choose to move into red dojos, you can also choose whether you want to have alerts when your kiddo might receive a red dojo of something that they might need to be working on. The best part of Class Dojo, in my opinion, is where you can share photos. And it's pretty easy to message pictures to your classroom teacher via the messaging part of that. But we ask that you bear with us because we're going to be receiving communications through 2 different emails for school and through Class Dojo. So we may not be attached to Class Dojo as much as we may have been in the past, but we still want to hear from you, and just bear with us as we try to navigate through 3 different systems of communicating with you. But it's one of our most important things is to communicate with you and your family. So whichever way works for you, we will make it work for us as well. Did I just talk through you, Mrs. Pasenka? Sorry if I took over your slide, Mrs. Pasenka. I don't know if that's, I don't know, is that me or is that you? We kind of look alike there.
I think it was supposed to be Mrs. Pasenka, but that's okay. Maybe she's just.
I just kept running on talking through you there, Mrs. Pasenka.
I think with that, Mrs. Harbaugh, I think the most effective way to, get in touch with us is
Hi, I'm
Class
back.
Dojo. Oh, you're back. Okay.
I'm here. That's why we're such a good team. We finish each other's sentences. But just to go along with what Mrs. Harbaugh said, Dojo is a really great communication tool, and I think probably the most effective way to get a hold of us at this time.
Okay, so even though your children will be going to school virtually, they will still have the option to do the grab and go bags with the meals for breakfast and lunch. If you need or want to do that, you will go online, I think through the North Hills website, school district website, and sign up. And you can indicate where you would like to pick up your meals. If your family qualifies for free and reduced lunch, that will still be free to you. Or if you would just like to purchase that, you will pay $4. And there are also delivery options should you need that. And we just wanted to, wrap up and close by saying, again, we understand these times are trying. They are sending lots of emotions to all of us. We all feel very differently, but we want you to know that we are all a team in your child's education. And though we're not in the classroom with them daily, we are still here for you. We're still here for your kid. And we are still right by their side, helping them to learn and grow the best way that we know how. So we will be patient with you. Please be patient with us. And we are so excited to work with each of you as this school year takes off.
All right. Well, first grade, that is a wrap. We wanted to show you your teachers one last time. We are excited to see you on the first day. If we don't get that opportunity, we will make sure that we see you on Zoom and give you a big virtual hug. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for listening to this very long presentation. We feel that you can come to us at any time. Dojo is a great way to communicate, and we are looking forward to this partnership being your child's teacher. That's all for now. Goodbye, first grade families. We'll see you soon.